magnetism and magnetic personalities and you know, what is that? How do you accomplish it? How do you cultivate it? How do you grow it? You know, I remember one point in my life, somebody came up to me and told me I was magnetic, and they just wanted to be around me and talk to me, and I was very intrigued by it, you know, and it's always kind of lingered in my mind, but I never really thought about it. And it wasn't until I got into a sales capacity and I had to try to understand, you know, that magnetism and how can I teach people this? Like, how can I find it? How do I identify it in people? And I've done this in management. I've done it, you know, with my home life, with my kids. Like, it doesn't matter. You can use this information and apply it in many different ways. So without dragging this out too far, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this topic. So magnetism is actually a result of really strong authenticity. And what is authenticity? We hear people talk about authenticity all the time. So what is it? Authenticity is your ability to convey something that you're truly connected in and you believe in. So it's important to know that piece, because in order to become magnetic, whether you're trying to magnetically attract somebody to follow the game plan, or you're magnetically attracting somebody to try and you know, follow a system that you've learned, or you know, if it's for your kids, or if it's for your family, or if it's for a work reason, or the most easy one to explain this through is sales. Salespeople have to be magnetic, and in order to do that, you have to be authentic. So then that made me peel apart this. Okay, how do you understand authenticity? How do I teach it? How do I find it? How do I cultivate it? So a good example of this, and I'm going to use sales. So in sales, it's nearly impossible to go in front of a customer and try to convince them to take a product that you don't believe in. If you don't think this product is going to fix them or help them, no matter what you tell them, you're not going to be authentic from within. You're not going to believe in what you're saying. So authenticity is the alignment of your belief system and your experiences. So this kind of goes into a spiritual realm. You know, if what you believe is what you're acting, you're naturally magnetic. So when you're aligned with your belief system and you're acting as though your belief system is controlling your life, you're good to go. So now how does that apply to sales? Okay, so in order to be authentic in a sales pitch, and I'll use my situation as an example. I have to go meet with customers and I have to sell them that we're the best contractor to do their job. And when I first started doing this, when my business was first starting to grow, it was very difficult because I knew we could produce a product, but I wasn't 100% confident in it yet. Not like I am now. Like I am now, I mean, we have amazing people at my company, and it is so easy to look a customer in the eye with complete and total authenticity and say, hey, you'd be screwing up if you don't go with us. We have the best contractors. We have the best skilled trade carpenters in the state. I with confidence can tell you that because I've went and I've seen their work. So this is how you cultivate it. This is how I would do it in sales. What I would do is, if I'm going to try to train somebody that doesn't necessarily have that passion yet, like I have certain passions for different things, and seeing people be really good at their skill, it lights me up. It makes me feel alive. So that's where I get my passion from when I'm conveying it back to someone else. So if I'm going to take somebody else, what I want to do is expose them to this type of work. Like, for example, if I had a new sales guy, have him work with my crew and see what type of work that they're able to create. And when he's fascinated, like blown away at the level of quality that these people have, now he can take that emotion and regenerate it while he's in front of a customer. And now they're feeling that emotion that he felt. And this is where your alignment with your belief system and all of it comes together to create magnetism and authenticity. He's authentically remembering, visually seeing the team do something amazing, and then he's telling the story back to the customer. Like, you wouldn't believe how great of work this guy did. Like, he's the best of the best, and if you get him on your project, there's just no question, right? So now the customer's like, well, I want this guy. I want my project to go that way. Like, so magnetism is the ability to feel an emotion and then reconvey it back out to whoever you're talking to whoever you're working with. And this can be applied a lot of different ways. It's easy to explain it in sales because you have an objective to sell an item, right? So the other thing I try to tell people is sales is everywhere in life. Doesn't matter what you're doing, sales is critical. You know, if you're at home and you're trying to convince your kids that doing homework is the best thing for their life, that's a sale. You're selling them on living a certain way and believing in a certain system. So you're, in effect, you're trying to change their belief system or create their belief system, and you have to have something that you believe in to convey that message. So an example of this would be, you know, when I talk to my son and I want him to get good grades at school, you know, I come from a little bit different perspective, okay? I'm of the mindset that school is important, but you look at some of the greatest people in our country, the wealthiest people in our country, a lot of them skipped certain levels of school and went right straight to work. So do I think it's value? Yes, I think there's values there, and that's what I do. The things that I passionately believe in the value of school, I explain to my son so that my son can see those values. You know, nobody explained it to me growing up. So I didn't care about grades. I didn't care about anything. I struggled through school because it was all stupid to me. My son, I seen him on the same path, doing the same things, thinking the same things. So I had to think back, like, what did I wish I would have done differently? What would have helped me through my career now that I didn't pay attention to in school or that I neglected in school? And then I take that emotion that I have, that feeling like, hey, you know, if I would have practiced and worked on this more, this one thing, it would have excelled me in this way at this point. So now what I'm doing is I'm helping him create a belief system on a passion that I'm showing him through my emotion, right? Like I emotionally am distraught or harmed from my inaction at this time that you can avoid if you take this action. So what I'm doing is I'm using authenticity. That was an authentic experience. It's creating magnetism. He's magnetically drawn to the conversation we're having, like, oh man, Dad really felt this. I don't want to feel that. So I'm helping convey that to him. And this again, these are all elements of authenticity. Magnetism is the term that people use to describe it. And it's an outcome that you take and you can create by aligning all of these elements. And once you learn how to align these elements, you know, authenticity is the key. Authenticity, authenticity, authenticity. When you can take and be truly authentic, you are going to become magnetic. So becoming truly authentic means aligning your belief system with your actions. So again, another example, if you believe wholeheartedly that you shouldn't be living a promiscuous life, you're out running around, having fun, running the streets, but you're doing it anyway because you're so tempted to. That's what you want to do. It's nearly impossible for you to remain in magnetic or authentic because you have a conflict of beliefs. The way to truly become magnetic, and I would guarantee you, most of the people you know that just seem to have it naturally are very much aligned with their belief system. They 100% believe in who they are, what they're doing, and how it projects out to other people and what they see. So they walk into the world with total confidence because their belief system is aligned with their actions. And these people, and if you carefully go back and look at all of them, every one of them have that. Now, the thing that confuses people is everybody's belief system's different. You might have somebody that they believe that running around with a bunch of wild girls is good. It's what he's supposed to be doing. That's his belief system. It's been built that way. So when they're aligned with that, it just keeps compounding and compounding, and they get more and more girls and more attention. It's because they're in alignment, and it's because they're magnetic. And the same thing, you know, a peaceful friend. I got a great friend. I always looked up to him, and this is one of the things that I thought about is, you know, he great looking guy, amazing looking guy, never ran around, very selective with the type of girls he dated, like all these things. And he could have probably had anybody he wanted. He could have ran around as much as he wanted, but he didn't. He lived a pure life. He lived in complete alignment. When that man walked in the room, you feel it. You feel that energy. You know for a fact that there's something about him. I don't know what it is. Well, the reality is it's alignment. It's the alignment with his belief system, and his actions have allowed him to be completely authentic all the time. Not just when he wants to for a sale. You know, the sale thing was an example of how you can cultivate that when you need it. But the reality is authenticity through alignment with your belief system and your actions is what creates magnetism. Now you become incredibly magnetic because you're living in a way that you believe is right. And you're not afraid for people to see it. So you come out with confidence. Now confidence comes into the mix. These things all go hand in hand. They all cultivate each other. So whether you're trying to build confidence, or you're trying to build magnetism, or you're trying to build your authenticity, they're all to do with your belief system and alignment. And keep in mind, you control your belief system. You can change your belief system. If you were raised to believe this because of your religion, you can change that if you want. You know, we were all indoctrinated by our adult role models, whether it's parents, grandparents, friends, cousins, aunts, uncles. Somebody influenced us. We saw somebody and we said, that's how I want to be. And we started to build our belief system. And then the problem is, if you don't figure out or dedicate your life to living within the parameters of your belief system, or adjust your belief system to the parameters of how you choose to live, you'll never be authentic, you'll never be magnetic, you'll never be in alignment. And that's what these things are. These things are critical to understand. Like, figure this part out and you'll start becoming way more magnetic, way more attractive, way more influential, and your whole world will turn around, because these are the key elements that make you that type of person. These are the key elements that clean up your life, that make it so when you enter a space, you're confident. Like, I am who I am. I'm exactly who I want to be, and I'm living exactly the way I want to live. And you're not looking for approval, because the only approval you needed was your own, and you've got it because you've lived within the parameters of your belief system. So that goes a little bit deeper. That's more like kind of the spiritual side of it. Back to the sales side of it and influential at work. I want to do a little bit on that. So influential at work. If you're in charge of running a division, a department, or you're building something like a company, you need to have a vision that you believe can be achieved, and then you need to be able to be so involved in that vision that your passion comes out, like you're feeling your emotions. So you're in alignment with your vision, right? Like, you know that you can achieve it. You have a way to explain how you can achieve it. You cultivate that emotion of excitement when you're explaining it and sharing it with the team members that you're trying to bring aboard to help you. And now you've become magnetic. You've become magnetic in your ability to convey what the goal is of that mission. And this isn't a scam. This isn't a way to like trick people. What I'm trying to teach you or explain to you here is you have to genuinely believe in what you're doing to be able to sell it. If you don't genuinely believe in it, you're gonna come off like icky. You're gonna come off like gross, like, this guy's up to something. Like, and people feel it. People are like, there's just something about that guy. He's kind of weird. He's probably lying. He's lying through his teeth. He's telling you to do something he'd never do. But when he's telling you something that he would do because it's benefited him at some point in life, and he has excitement to share with you because it was that, it's a no-brainer. You feel that. You're like, oh yeah, that was a great emotion. I want more of that. You either want to hang out with him, or you want to figure out how to do more like what they're doing. And that's, again, it's authenticity is like realness. You have to be real, and real comes from alignment. In the work situation, you're aligned with the mission because you believe in the mission. You've seen success in the same way in this mission, and now you're projecting that, explaining it to other people, and they can feel that emotion. They're like, oh man, I can tell this guy's, he's had success. I know he's on a winning freaking line. He's got a mission that's real. And if you don't believe in what you're doing, and I've had this, I can give you examples of how it doesn't work. I've worked at companies I know are gonna fail. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't stand in front of the group of people and tell them anything because I didn't believe in anything I was saying. I didn't believe the company would succeed. I didn't believe in the product we were selling. We were producing absolute garbage. I had to leave. I couldn't be a part of it. And I've done that at several companies. And it's one of the things that I work on building strong at the company I own is, this belief system. Guys, this is what we can do. This is how we're going to do it. And you cultivate and create that belief system. So when those people go out to perform, they believe in the outcome because they know it's coming. They know that they can see it too. You help them visualize. And that came through authenticity. I authentically conveyed my belief system to them through emotion, passion, and alignment. It's all, I'm 100% locked on what our mission is as a company, and they know that. They feel it, and they're bringing their part of the equation in to help accomplish that mission. And they all know that each one of us have a separate part, and we can't do it without each other. These are key elements. When you understand these things, they're very helpful long term. So then back to another example when you're thinking of authenticity with, family or kids or things like that. Another example of this would be when I'm trying to help my son develop a belief system. And, the old school way that I was taught was don't do this, you'll sin, you'll go to hell. Like all these things, it's like, yeah, I got to believe that in that now. I got to build my belief system off of other beliefs how do I know if you go to hell? We've never talked to anybody that went to hell, right? And as a kid, it's even harder to understand. So I'm not banging on religion. I'm just saying helping your kids build a belief system off of something tangible is important. And it comes through authenticity, and it creates magnetism and all of that. So one example of this is I'm very transparent with my son on my life experiences, whether it's in dating or drinking or partying or any of that. I share very clearly with him what I've learned, and we've all learned from our past. And I've seen parents that are afraid to talk about their past, afraid to tell their kids. It's like, why? You're losing your best opportunity to help them create a more refined belief system that took you 20, 30, 40 years to develop. Why not go to them while they're the most susceptible? Children are the most susceptible to learning and building their belief system. Once it's been built, it's even harder to deconstruct and rebuild. So if you screwed it up early on, they're going to pay hell in the future trying to undo it and fix it. So this is your opportunity. Hey, yeah, I did those things. I went out, I partied. I went out, I did this, I did that. I drank before I was supposed to. I stayed out too late. I drove my car too fast. I did this, I did that. And then I explained to him all the lessons I learned when I screwed every one of those things up. I partied too hard. I drove too fast. I did this, I did that. This is what happened. This is how I felt. This is the problems I had to deal with. I convey that to him with sincere emotion. Authenticity. I authentically convey to them the problems that I felt in life so they could feel them too. And they see somebody they care about conveying in an authentic way. Not, oh, you just shouldn't do it. Okay, well, I'm going to go try it, see if I don't like it. That's what I did. Everybody told me don't do it. Okay, all right, I'm going to go see how it goes. And I did. And I learned the hard way. But now I take what I learned from that, and I realized I didn't learn until I experienced the extreme emotion. Help your children, family, experience the same emotion. And you can't do it without coming clean. You have to tell them you frickin' did it. But then you can convey to them the torture that it put you through, the problems that came from driving too fast, from dating the wrong people, from drinking too much. If they don't have somebody to authentically convey to them through life experience why not to do that, they're going to go try it until they learn the hard way. And this doesn't work 100%. I mean, they still might want to go try it. They might think you're an idiot and you did it wrong and they can do it better. So be it. I guarantee you that if you're able to authentically convey a message to your children based on emotions that you felt, so you got to bring those emotions back up, and you got to convey them to your children or whoever you're trying to talk to. You got to cultivate that emotion, reproject it, And now you have their attention. You have somebody that's magnetically drawn to you because you've created an emotion they can attach to, and they start to feel with you. Okay? The other one, now back to sales. One of the things that really triggered this conversation, I was talking with another guy who owns a company who does something a little bit different than what we do. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm struggling to get my employees for this purpose, you know, and he does what everybody does in sales. They hire salespeople. Well, this is my problem with salespeople. I think they're great, but unless they're selling something that they have a hobby in, I don't think they're superior. They're okay. You know, and there's some that can fake it. There's no doubt about it. There's people out there that can fake it 100%. But a majority of the people that I've seen that are the best at sales are selling something they believe in. Now, one of the best salesmen I ever experienced was a guy who sells heavy equipment. And he used to be a heavy equipment operator. He drove every one of them. He drove the front end loaders, he drove cranes, he knew what was good, and he knew what he liked to operate, and he was able to convey that through authenticity, emotion, alignment. And I felt it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, he's an operator. I'm buying this machine for another operator. I want to make that operator feel like this guy feels. I'm making a decision based on the emotion he was able to bring to me by explaining the equipment, right? So that's how a lot of us, we make decisions subconsciously in sales based on, oh, I want to feel the way they feel right now. I'm going to have to buy that so I feel the way they feel. It's a human reaction. So what I was explaining to him when him and I were talking, you know, he's like, what should I do for sales? Like, I'm struggling here, man. I said, if I were you, I'd back up and I would stop trying to turn a salesman into a X salesman, right? Like selling X. I don't want to give away what this person sells, but selling X, right? So that's where I would start. I would take and find somebody who loves X and teach them sales. And it's something I've done at work. Like, you find somebody that has the skill or the talent and then teach them the process. And the skill in this case is authenticity. When you're looking for salespeople, you need to find people that are authentically attached to what they're selling. So in this scenario, whatever, let's call X cutlery. Let's say it's a knife, okay? So instead of finding a salesman and be like, hey, I need you to go sell these knives, I would rather find somebody who loves knives. And I told him, like, why don't you go to a gun and knife show and just kind of walk around the booths until you find that one guy who's like electrically trying to sell you, like, dude, this knife's so dope. Look at this. It flips, it flops, you know? And that's the key element, is that guy is enthusiastic about the product. He loves it. He loves it. He's having fun with it. It's cool. And he can project that emotion to the people he's selling to. You can teach sales. You can teach the sequence of how he should explain it, but then put him into the element and say, look, when you're there, I want you to relive that moment. Share with the customer how you feel when you use the product. That's what I do. I share with the customer how I feel when I see the beautiful work that my company provides. I share it with them. I'm like, God, it's beautiful. You know, I'm super proud of my team. I'm 100% confident that if you go with us, you're going to be happy, because I know when I see the work, like, it'd be impossible for you to not be happy with what we produce. So it's that way that you cultivate the emotion, you keep it at the surface, and you cast it out. You got to get that emotion out to other people. So then, bringing this all back full circle, most of those magnetic people are really good at cultivating and keeping their emotion present. So emotional presence. When you walk into a conversation and you're emotionally there, you like feel good about yourself because you're in complete alignment. You don't care what the conversation is. You're going to add value to it because you're aligned. You're a good person. Your mind's where it's supposed to be. These are all the things that turn you into a magnetic person. It's what makes you magnetic. Authenticity. Authenticity is the action of aligning your belief system with your reality, acting the way that you believe you should act. That's key elements. And the other key elements of passion and conveying passion is finding where you're passionate about it. If you're not passionate about it, you're not going to sell. You're not going to sell. You're not going to sell it to a customer. You're not going to sell it to your kid. You're not going to sell it to a friend. You know, if you're talking about something you don't believe in, everybody's going to be like, ugh, yuck, this guy's gross. Or if you're talking about something that you love and you're passionate about, they're listening. They're listening. They don't even give a shit what the topic is. They're just like, oh, look how excited he is. He loves this shit. Like, I don't even know what that is he's talking about, but it sounds freaking awesome. Like, I want that. I want that feeling. People are just trying to come in and get that feeling from you. They're trying to draw it out from you. That's what magnetism is. That's what authenticity does to people around you. It's an energy that draws people in, creating the magnetism. And authenticity, again, is created by being in complete alignment with your belief system and being able to convey the emotions that you feel every time everything's in alignment. So hopefully this video helped you out. I bring these videos to people because I've learned a lot in life, and I hate to leave here and not leave it behind. But I think this would be incredibly helpful for you, whether it's for your kids, enhancing your career, fixing your social life, just feeling better as a person. But anyway, if you like this video, don't forget to drop a comment below, like and subscribe. Have a good one.